Do you have a toilet that needs to be replaced and don't know exactly how to do that yet? Well, that's great, because in this video I'm going to walk you through all the steps on how to tell if a toilet is leaking, and then also how to replace it with a brand new one. Hey folks, Kevin here with Kev's Castle and CastleRemodel.com. Some of the equipment that I'm using in this video are latex gloves. I'm also using a painter's type spatula thing. And then the other tool that I need is a flathead screwdriver like this one. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I love to hear your feedback. If there's anything that I left out that you're still confused on, please leave that comment down below and I'll be happy to reply. Now let's get started. I started noticing some really high water bills, and when that was happening, the city sent me these dye tablets to put in all the tanks of the toilets. So here I am putting this dye tablet in, but if you don't have a dye tablet like this and you think your toilet's leaking, you can use food coloring. As long as you can see the color of the water, you'll be able to tell if it's leaking. After about half an hour of letting the dye sit in the tank, I can see it leaking into the toilet bowl. I would like to replace this toilet, so let's go ahead and do that now. When removing the old toilet, first you want to make sure that the water is turned off at the wall. There is a valve that controls the supply line that supplies water to the toilet. So just make sure that that's turned off, and then you can start disassembling everything. I am loosening the bolts at the bottom on the floor, and I'm going to take everything apart from the base. You can actually take the tank off if you want to, but I like to move it out all in one piece. It's just less to disassemble in the bathroom. It's kind of tight in that area, so I am laying down a plastic bag so that I can try to sit the toilet on the bag. Turns out this bag is a little too small. It helps to have somebody to help you carry the toilet. And now I'm cleaning all the old wax off of the flange, making sure not to get any in the hole. It might help to put a rag or something in the hole temporarily to make sure nothing falls in. There's a plastic piece in the center of the old wax ring that you want to make sure you remove as well. Remove all the old hardware. I'm using a pair of channel lock pliers to pull the bolts out. I installed this wax ring because it says that it's not messy and I wanted to try it out. But the issue that I'm having here is the flange that is in the floor is actually a little bit above the floor. It's about 1/4 inch up. And when I put this wax ring, you're going to see that the toilet doesn't seat completely on the floor. So I end up taking it out and putting the ring that comes with the toilet, which is just the basic original wax ring. There's nothing against this ring, but it only works in certain situations, and you want to make sure that your situation is correct before opening the box. That way you can return it. I ended up throwing this wax ring away because you cannot return it to the store. Any of these products cannot be returned to the store after they are installed. After placing the bolts in these slots to the left and the right, slide the plastic washer down the bolt and it should hold it in place vertically. That's the first piece that you put on the bolt that locks it in place. The wax ring slides on over the bolts just like this. That blue piece on top of the ring is removable. This is so that you can fine-tune it with the height of the flange based on your floor. This is an elongated toilet with a soft close lid. This first box that I'm opening up is the top of the tank. It's the lid for the tank, and you'll notice that there is a hole in the center of that lid. That is where the flush mechanism is. This toilet has the option of doing a soft flush or a heavier flush. And there is also a wax ring in the small square box in the bottom, and then all the hardware comes with it as well. When placing the toilet on the bolts, you want to make sure that both of them are lined up, and just go slowly, take your time. You do not want to try to rush this part, and it's best if the toilet and the tank are separated. It'll be easier to move it around rather than having them put together previously and then put it in place. As I stated before, the issue that I'm seeing here is that the toilet is not resting on the ground completely, because the way this wax ring is designed, it actually needs to sit into the ground slightly in order for the toilet to sit flush with the ground. The solution I come up with is I remove this wax ring and do not use it. I end up using the original wax ring that came with the toilet. You want to make sure that you have a wax ring before you get started. You may need to purchase it separately depending on which toilet you choose. I'm using the new bolts that come with the new ring. I do not want to use the bolts from the other wax ring because it's a different manufacturer, and I want to make sure that all of the parts work together the way the manufacturer designed it. So I put the new bolt on, and then I am seating the little black plastic washer over it. This is all in the instructions that come with the wax ring, but basically this washer holds it in place so that it does not move too much when you're putting the toilet on. You want to make sure that the T-shaped head of the bolt is lined up to be perpendicular to one another. So what that means is the bolt head is facing towards the back wall, the back of the toilet, back to front. That way when it slides into the slot that these bolts go on, it stays in firmly. Place the wax ring directly over the flange with the black plastic piece sticking down into the hole. You want all wax facing up, and the toilet will go directly over the bolts. You want the bolts to come up through the two holes on either side of the toilet, and then as you do this, give firm pressure straight down on the toilet so that it doesn't smear the wax the wrong way. There's a washer that goes on each bolt, and then the nut screws down on it. You want to make sure that there's equal pressure on either side. As you screw the bolts down, it's going to pull the toilet down and make sure that the toilet's not rocking. Then the cap goes on. So here's the washer, and there is a certain way that the washer goes on so that the cap will click onto the washer. You may need to take a look at it before you put it on, but there is a certain way. And then just screw these two nuts down and make sure that the toilet is secure to the ground. It's not rocking at all. It's important not to over tighten these nuts because this toilet is porcelain, and that means that it is able to crack if it has too much pressure pushed onto it, so don't over tighten. There's a plastic piece in the base of the tank that goes between the toilet and the tank, and then there is a rubber gasket that fits on top of this piece. It all is designed to fit together, and once you have the rubber gasket with that plastic piece that goes between, then you can tighten these bolts down. There are two nuts, one on each side. As I'm tightening here, I am just getting it tightened down so that the tank does not rock, similar to how the toilet is when it is secured on the floor. You do not want the tank to rock either. Now I'm installing the supply line. I'm reusing the original supply line that was on the old toilet, but if you need to replace your supply line, make sure that when you get the new one, it will fit on the size valve that you have coming out of the wall. You may need to talk to one of the plumbers at the local hardware store where you purchase your supply line to make sure that you get the right size. Now I turned the water on and you can see it filling up here. I'm going to wait and watch, make sure that there's no leaks, make sure that everything is tightened down correctly. I want to make sure that there are no problems at this point. Everything seems to be flowing correctly. I start by holding the flushing mechanism in the orientation that it's going to drop into the tank lid. As you can see on the top there is a blue button and a white button. The blue button is for the lighter flush, and that's what I was doing to line up the left and right of this flushing mechanism. And then you put this kind of like a washer, a large washer that goes over the two of them, and then the nut will tighten it all down. I'm lining this top part up and then place it right on top, and that's it. Now it's time to put the toilet seat on. There are two clear plastic pieces that sit at the base where the screw holes are. They have tabs that fit into the seat so that they stay in place. After you get those clear plastic pieces in, put one of the bolts in from the top, and from below, before you put the washer on, I'm putting the washer on now, but then I'm going to take it out because I remember that there is one other part that goes on first. It is this little rubber dome piece. It's like a washer, and that's what you want between the toilet porcelain and the plastic washer. The washer will go on first, and the nut. Sometimes it's easier to put them on together and just kind of like balance them with one hand and tighten it up. But that rubber piece, the black piece that I put on first, you want it to have the curved side going up towards the toilet because it'll fit up into the porcelain of the toilet. And then the flat base side is where the washer is going to rest up against. A flathead screwdriver will help with holding the top of the bolt, and then the nut can be held by your hand and just kind of tighten it. You don't have to over tighten it. As you're learning in this demo, you do not want to over tighten anything because this is all porcelain. So that is my biggest advice, is don't over tighten any of this because you can potentially crack it. You do not want to crack it. I can't stress that enough. Thanks for watching this video on how to install a toilet. If you got value out of this video and you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button down below. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up as well. And here at Kev's Castle and at castleremodel.com, I'm dedicated to helping you turn your home into your own private sanctuary. Thanks for watching.